This is the Man Stop It podcast. Man Stop It. Man Stop It.
So I want to talk a little bit about gang ties, gang affiliation, the Chicago drill scene, because you have some pretty big names in your family that was a part of the Chicago drill scene and the rap culture.
Yeah.
So the first person I want to talk about, and I know it's going to be maybe a little bit difficult to talk about, but would be your son, Lil Scrapp.
Scrap.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a few questions about Scrap. So for you, what do you feel like was the turning point for Little Scrap? Like, what do you feel like Little Scrap may have jumped off the porch?
Oh man, he jumped off the porch. I'm gonna say, man, well, there's a lot of stuff I didn't know about, but I'm gonna say probably like 13. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? 13, something like that. He really jumped off the porch. But it probably was a little earlier than that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I wasn't holding his hand every time he go outside. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And probably like 12 or 13, I say he really jumped off the porch. Cause there was people coming to me saying, "Man, Scrap did this. You know, he pulled this on me," and I was like, probably as a parent, like, "No, my son ain't do that. I know he ain't do that." You know what I'm saying? But all the time, people was on BS with him. So yeah, I this was from the other side. Somebody from the other side told me this. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I ain't lying, Pops. Woo woo called me Pops too, but he was like, man, Scrap upped on me. So he had to be like 12, 13 at that time.
Right. So he was out here basically doing stuff like that, and you had no idea, and people were coming and telling you,
Yeah,
and you
I
started
mean,
hearing things.
they had got into it, and then he had told me because I seen him one day in front of my crib. You know what I'm saying? This when we stayed on 59th. And I seen him, and I'm like, man, what's going on? And he was like, man, Pops for real, Scrap. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, he was carrying shit, and I didn't know it. I didn't see it. I'm not gonna see my son. He around me with pipe and all that. No, I'm taking it from him. I'm
Right.
not. I'm not
Right.
gonna let my son just come on, man.
Mhm.
Cause you know I read all comments under my shit, whatever. I read them, I look at them, and
Mhm.
I see what people be saying. But you
Mhm.
know, everybody out here, man, we can't be with them 24 hours, man.
Right. So you basically said that the lifestyle that he was living, you didn't condone it, and you had
No,
no idea. And by the
no.
time you did find out, it was too late.
Yeah,
He
I
was in
didn't,
it.
I couldn't,
He was
yeah,
deep
I
in it
didn't,
then.
I ain't condoning that. Neither me or his mother did.
Okay, okay. So for the viewers that don't know, Scrap sadly lost his life due to gun violence. Is man, I want to extend my condolences to you for that. So it says that Scrap was a part of a set called MOB. What does that mean? What does MOB stand for?
Man, I don't know. I think it's money over, mind on business or something. Money over bitches. One of them, I don't know what it really means. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was they little term MOB.
Okay. So if there was a gang faction associated with MOB, what gang would that be?
I don't know if it's a gang faction affiliated with MOB or not. I don't know if they, I don't know if they're a gang. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're a gang, but you know the set they come that's around that area, they GDs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of rumor out here about how Lil Scrap was and how he didn't play. So, in your words, I want to hear from you and the viewers probably would like to hear this too. In your words, the streets already know about Scrap. Like they know what he was. They know he didn't play. So can you give us something that the streets don't know or didn't know about Scrap?
Man, they don't know, man. My son was a big kid, man. So like he in them streets, and uh, people don't know, man. When he used to come home, was when he used to really be a kid. Whining and all that type of shit. Me and him used to play fight a lot as he was coming up as a kid. Uh, I did that with him a lot. He used to jump in the bed with me and his mama. And she used to be like, "Boy, get out of my bed." You know what I'm saying? And he'd come jump in the bed with me if she ain't there. He just was a big old kid, man.
Right.
He was a Go ahead.
I was going to say, so he was basically a kid at home, and then he was Scrap in the streets. So y'all didn't get the Scrap at home. Y'all got the streets got the Scrap.
The streets got my baby, man. So yeah, that's what happened, man. So yeah,
Okay, okay. So on the day of his passing, can you take the viewers back to that day and just kind of describe like what kind of day that was for you, and when you got the news, what you were feeling, and like how did it go from once you got the news, like before you got the news, and then once you received the news, what happened
man, it
then?
was it was a long day because I had my son, one of my sons picked me up, my nephew, and we went and picked my son Scrap up. And I went and we went and picked him up from his mama house. And this was like probably a week after he got shot in the chest. And he thought he really had healed, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't healed in no week from getting shot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So he was like, "Man, Pops, I want to play some ball," but he was telling me and his brother and them that, and his cousin. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Man, I want to hoop." He wanted to hoop so bad. So me, Scrap, my son Brokey, and my nephew Goldie, we took off and we went out towards the hundreds. We went to my son Brokey house, and we are actually it's funny because we ran out of gas. You know what I'm saying? So we had to wind up. Me and Scrap wind up sitting in the car while they went off, and my nephew pulled up. So when my nephew pulled up, he took them to go get some gas. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So this gave me a little time, and this all in that day to actually sit there and talk to my son. So I actually had a conversation with my baby. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling him like, I'm gonna get you a car. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Because I didn't want him on a bus, and I wanted to get him a car. So I told him, he's like, "Pops, you gonna give me a car?" I said, "Yeah, I got a little money coming. So when I get this money, I'm gonna get you a car, bro. Because
mm,
I didn't want him, on the buses and stuff like that. And plus, I couldn't drive no more at the time. You feel me?
mm-hmm.
And I was always picking my son up.
Okay.
So we sat there, we talked about that, and he was happy about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of touching me, man. But uh, so my son and them come back. So they come back, and we put the gas in the car. We leave. So we ride to 103rd to put the rest of some more gas in the car for 103rd and like Wentworth or something. So we go put some more gas in the car. So as we're in the gas station, the police pull up on us. Dicks pull up right beside us. So I'm in the front, Scrap in the back, Goldie in the back. Brokey driving. So the detectives pop out the car. So I'm glad I was there because, level head. I'm in a security business, did all that type of shit. Know a few of the twists and all that. So I got them. The lady police look in the back. She sees Scrap. She said, "Oh, you look like you a bad. You look like you a little badass. Like you up to something." I said, "Man, he ain't on nothing, man. We finna go play some basketball. Well, I'm finna take them, and they finna go hoop." You know what I'm saying? She was like, "Oh, okay." So after that, make it short, They just got up out of it. They built back in the car. That's cause I was with them, I believe. Other than
Right.
that, they probably would have snatched them out the car.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
feel me?
I think
So I
definitely.
said, all right, we gone. So we left. And they was like, he was like, man, I want to hoop. And they was like, man, we ain't finna hoop, man. We finna go get up on something. You know what I'm saying? Some females. You feel me? So he like, all right, man, forget it. He like, man, just drop me back off on 56 and Wabash. So we took him back down there and dropped him off. Dropped him off on Wabash and shit. So we drop him off on Wabash. They take me home. So they bring me home. So I wind up, my homies came and get me. We went and shot some pool, right?
Hmm.
So we go shoot some pool. Like 11 something, we leave. They bring me to the crib. I get upstairs like 11:40 something. So I'm sitting on my bed. So I just get a phone call from one of his buddies. You know what I'm saying? And he was crying on the phone. No, I get a phone call. Take that back. I get a phone call from my son, Scrapp, at like 11:45. So I say, boy, you ain't gone home yet? My exact words. Right, you ain't gone home yet? He know, pops. I'm trying to get over Rico, and God rest my little cousin Rico's soul, cause he gone too now. So he say, I'm trying to get over Rico before he go pick up Duck. God rest my little cousin Duck's soul too. All of them gone. You feel me?
Mm.
So I said, all right. So I text Rico. I sent him Rico number. So I text Rico and say, please go get Brian. But my little cousin never saw my text, right? So I sitting on the bed next to you know I'm asleep. You know what I'm saying? Because I was waiting on the moon to come over.
Hmm.
So I'm asleep. So I get a phone call, my phone on my chest. So my phone started ringing like 1:30. When I picked it up, I already knew what time it was. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like the second call I got from my son. But when he called me, he was like, Pops, Pops. You know what I'm saying? One of his homies. He called me crying. Like, they just killed Scrap. And I just threw the phone, man. That was it. That was it, man. That was it.
Okay. So it sounds to me like, and again, you have my condolences for that. Um, and it sounds to me like though, like the day that you spent together, it seems like you feel like that was like some type of divine intervention, like God was letting y'all have that moment, that last moment for that last time, before he had his untimely demise.
Yeah, man. I think about that a lot, but yeah, that's just what it was, man.
Okay. Okay. So if you could, and I know you can't, but we're just going back in hindsight. If if it was anything that you could do different to change the outcome, and you could go back to that day, what do you think you would do?
Man, I just wish that we could have they could have just went and played ball. But we can't stop what God got. You know what I'm saying? So we never know what would have happened. You feel me? So I just wish that they would have went and played ball. That's what he really wanted to do. He didn't really want to go on the block. He really wanted to go hoop. So after they said they weren't going to play no ball. Shit, he just said take me to the block, and I dropped him off.
Right, right, okay.